Welcome, everyone, to Beauty and the Surgeon podcast. I'm Amy. I'm a nutritional therapy practitioner, and I'm joined today, as always, by Dr. Jason Martin. He's a board-certified plastic and reconstructive surgeon. Dr.
That's
Martin,
right.
how you doing? How's 2026 treating you?
Oh, really good.
Now that
really
we're 2 weeks in?
Yeah, we're totally 2 weeks in.
Yeah. So, I mean, how bad could it be in 2 weeks, right?
No, right.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure what this year's going to bring, but I'm happy so far.
Yeah, so far so good. Well, if you are listening to this episode and you would like to watch it, you can find that on YouTube. We are at Jason Martin MD on YouTube and at Beauty and the Surgeon podcast, everywhere else on social media. You can also leave us a comment at 303-630-9038. And by comment, I mean text or leave me a voicemail. You can comment in the box below. Dr. Martin, this episode, I feel like in January, we always try and do something where we talk about, something a little more self-improvement kind of esque. And I read this article. It was from Psychology Weekly or Psychology Today, talking about that there were real science-backed things that could make a person appear younger. And I was like, well, this is interesting. Is this really real science here? And it actually is. So the title of this episode is How to Look Younger. No knives or needles required.
So what you don't even need me here for this episode.
Yeah, well, we all need it, right? This is the episode we all need.
Yeah.
Because, we talk about this on some of our episodes, kind of like the energy of a person and all that kind of stuff.
Sure.
But that's all fine and well. Is there actual data to back this up?
Okay.
And there actually is. So I picked 10 things that there's actual real, like you can Google Scholar and find real studies. I had them all linked, but I was like, I don't need to make Sarah be searching PubMed for all these links. So just know that there are actual studies that back up all of these 10 points.
Okay. I just want to say ahead of time, since I'm really interested actually in this episode, I will not be, if celery is one of them,
Nope.
I'm not going to be eating it because I
don't like
cannot
celery?
stand celery.
You had a patient yesterday who is allergic to celery.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
So I like bok choy, but I hate celery. I don't
They're
understand.
very different. Oh, they're totally different. Bok choy and celery are not, they're like hardly even the same thing. That's like saying fennel and celery. They're totally different.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're both like cellulose green.
Yeah, aren't they both just mostly water?
I mean, I would put, but bok choy is it's a cabbage.
Okay.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
And cooking bok choy, like when you do it right.
Like in pho or in ramen.
Yes, it's so good.
Love bok
And
choy.
I'm with you. I don't like celery either, but
Yeah.
bok choy,
Love celery.
on it.
Now, I'll eat celery all day long full of peanut butter.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is just like eating peanut
Topped
butter.
with raisins.
Yes.
Oh, ants on a log. That is seriously one of the
Ants
best.
on a log.
One of the best
I
after
feel like the
school
world
snacks.
could be healed by ants on a log if everyone just had that one
Yeah.
day. We all sat around, remembered our childhood.
Mm-hmm. Ate
Ants
some
on a log.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
All right. So the first one is, these are all things that people who appear younger than their stated age, they prioritize sleep. And these people had significantly lower skin aging scores they found, and this was in Caucasian women. They did the study on Caucasian women in middle age, and they were either in the quality of like good sleepers or bad sleepers. And they did these actual skin tests. So they actually tested the quality of their skin. So baseline, they had better skin scores when they looked at them through like that, the scanner that scans your skin.
Mm-hmm.
They had better recovery from the erythema after UV light exposure. So they exposed them to like what would be 24 hours of like direct sun exposure via these UV lights. And then erythema just tested the next day, like how swollen their cells were. They also had 30% greater skin barrier recovery after the tape test. So you put a piece of tape on it, like you rip it off aggressively and it rips off all those epithelial cells at the top of the surface. And this was my favorite. They also had better self-perception of appearance and physical attractiveness.
Oh, of course, yeah. I mean, we've talked about sleep many times and I can actually participate in this episode.
Yes,
Oh,
you
okay.
can.
Wow.
Yes.
I thought I was like just going to sit here and not say
No.
anything. But we've had multiple episodes where we've talked about sleep. It was one of our goals that you and I talked about, for me at least. We talked about deep sleep and REM sleep. Amy's favorite thing is to talk about
The
the
lymphatic
lymphatic system, which is it from the deep sleep or REM sleep? I can't remember. Maybe it's the REM.
Well, it cycles throughout sleep, but if
But
you're
there
not
was-
getting enough deep sleep, you're not getting enough.
It's a deep
Yeah.
sleep. I think it's a deep sleep. But if really that duration of deep sleep, duration of REM sleep, at least an hour for both of those, if you have one of those trackers, are really good. And that can reset your brain. And clearly, if you're resetting your brain in a good way, then that's going to improve self-perception. You're going to have less. You're going to definitely have less mental illness for sure when sleep is prioritized. Or if you do have mental illness, it's going to be less problematic. That's absolutely true.
Well, and you will also, from a scientific standpoint, look younger
You look younger.
than you're.
This is kind of a frustrating slide because I don't really sleep that well.
Well, but this is the thing. Prioritize.
I do
sleep.
prioritize it.
And it's something that all of these things are things that you can literally start improving on today.
Right.
None of them are things that you can't affect. Every single one of these things is something that you can affect starting right now.
Okay. So I'm going to reprioritize it.
Well, or prioritize in a different way.
Yeah,
if you're still not getting good sleep, like maybe look at your nighttime
No,
routine.
I get pretty good sleep in comparison to the average person.
Yeah, your sleep scores. We're sleep ninjas on Aura. Like I see your sleep scores. They're oftentimes better than mine.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
Yeah. So prioritize sleep. You're going to look younger and you're going to feel better about how you look too.
We're sleep ninja. You're not a sleep ninja?
I am a professional sleeper.
You
I
son of
am
a bitch.
awesome at sleeping. That's my goal.
That's why
still
you look
use
so
that?
young.
Well, actually, I get sometimes people go like they're surprised at my age or
Yeah,
whatever.
look at his
else.
under eyes. He
And
has
then
no
they-
lines.
And then they go, "Oh, you don't have kids." I was like, "So maybe that directly correlates." Like, if you don't have kids, do you still use the sleep, the
Oh, yeah,
cooling
the
pad?
Uller.
They say,
I don't know how I would live without my Uller.
Every time I wake up hot, I think about you guys.
Honestly, Nils, of all the things I do for sleep, the Uller is the number one thing.
I sleep with like
So
a
what
sheet.
I don't use anymore is the weighted blanket, which I should, because I sleep with a pillow over my head, which is probably not good for the lines on your face. I literally sleep with a pillow over my head. Yeah. Well,
Like an ostrich?
you one of your things you were into was something you stuck up your vagina to control a video game on a screen.
Yeah.
So if I sleep with a pillow over my head, you know.
I mean, no, it just more than anything, it just kind of makes me, I mean, if that's the way you got to sleep, but like maybe try a sleep mask.
Yeah, I don't think Amy and I knew what to say there.
Yeah. I mean, is somebody holding
You
that?
guys are shaming
Dr.
me.
Martin, is someone holding that pillow on your head?
Your wife
Do you
ever
need
had
help?
you? She's like,
Yeah.
I don't have to do much.
Right?
This pillow over my head is seeming kind of
Is
suffocating.
the pillow getting heavier every night?
No.
Huh. Well, aside from Nils, apparently we can all get better sleep. All right. So the next thing is that people who look younger have strong social connections. And again, there's real studies on why this impacts aging. Richer and more consistent social relationships, people displayed younger biological profiles on what's called the Grim age and the Dundian pace. And so these are both like, age trackers where they put all this data into AI and that tells you like what your age is, your real age. You've seen those, like it's like the ones that tell you how much longer you have left to live. It's like that. So people who had these deeper relationships actually showed up younger on these, metadata devices. Social life is not just a matter of happiness or stress relief, but a core determinant of psychological health. And this was what they really emphasized in the study, that people with richer, more sustained social connections literally age more slowly at a cellular level. Like they can see that on these trackers.
Yeah. And if you look at all the blue zones, Southern California, Japan, some of the Greece or Mediterranean, those areas, most of those places at the baseline have strong interpersonal like relationships. They have community, they have religion, and that's a big part of their community where these blue zones are. Like for the one in Southern California is the Seventh-day Adventists, I believe. They're very much into their health, and they have a church community, and they think that's a big part of why they live to be centenarians.
Centenarians.
Centenarians. That one of those words.
Yeah.
Over 100. So, that's a big part of it.
Yeah, but that you can actually see this on like actual cellular aging is slower in people that have, and they talked a lot about the people who ranked like the lowest, like having like the youngest age versus their actual age, like true age versus, biological age or whatever, had lifelong connections. So it was these people, I think about that. I think about that with you, that you have friends from like that you're still friends with, that you're going on vacation with this year.
Yep.
And like those types of connections are the things that really anchor a person through life, not just about being like a social butterfly. Because you think of like Hollywood superstars. I mean, they're typically like terribly depressed, even though they know tons of people. They're known everywhere they go. They go to these big events, but like they're not happy people.
Yeah, because they don't have those connections.
Right. It's about the depth of the connection.
Yeah.
Yeah, which, like you said, with the Seventh-day Adventists, like their faith,
that's
like
huge.
Those anchoring things.
Yeah, and it's true in Japan too. Like in the Mediterranean, it's all based on family. They have multi-generational families there. They're very active. They walk outside. We talked about all this stuff in this episode. In our episodes, forest bathing. We've talked about that, especially in Japan. So it really is based on that connection, and they actually believe that besides the diet part of it, nutritionally speaking, that probably the biggest factor is the community part.
Yeah. Well,
a positive community connection that's like, they help each other.
Yeah. Literally slow aging. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think for one of the key things with some cultures, which the thing that saddens me about our current culture is that we do not have a lot of reverence for elderly people anymore in our society, at least in where the country that we live in, which is very different. Like in Japan, like it's like a pride thing to be able to take care of your elders and to like have those connections is actually a positive. Whereas I feel like we just kind of, we get rid of people when they age out.
We put them in institutions. I mean, really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Or we just kind of, we push them aside. We no longer see them as relevant.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So we got a pact. You and I are going to not push each other aside. So our Dunder Mifflin in pace score is better.
Our grim age, like talk about a bad, like, I know. Like
they need.
It's like calling it the death clock.
I know.
Your grim age. Yeah.
It's like a terrible name. They need ChatGPT the name and get something else.
Yeah. I don't know.
All right. What's next?
All right. So the next one is that they manage stress intentionally.
I feel like you're really just sucker punching me now.
Well,
here.
But this is really key. It says manage stress intentionally. It doesn't say don't have stress.
Right.
So stress triggers systemic inflammation.
Yep.
This is well proven.
Yep.
So that is going to speed up aging. It also breaks down collagen and elastin. Collagen can be replenished throughout age, but basically by the time you're in your 30s, you don't produce elastin really at all. And that's really fundamental for aging. So if you're breaking down the existing elastin that you do have, like you're going to obviously age at a more rapid pace. So the people who are really good at this treat stress management as a habit, not a crisis tool. Daily habits, not lack of stress.
Yeah, that's exactly what I do.
And that's key. And I think that we talked about this in one of our episodes last year, talking about like how good you are at like seeing through the storm. Mm-hmm. You know, like that there can be like a tornado happening around you in the OR, but like you're really good at being able to just like see the whole situation for what it is.
Yep.
And that's really the key here. It's not it's not that stress goes away or that it doesn't exist. It's just you make a daily habit of dealing with it and not just suppressing it and making it go away.
Stress itself is overall probably a negative, but stress itself, as we've talked about, hormesis, this is like every episode we've ever done, where in biology, stress on an organism forces it to improve, to change, and in a lot of cases, live longer, be stronger. So stress itself is has a positive component. So if you have stress, physical or mental or life or work, finding ways to limit that where it doesn't affect your cortisol and your basic physiology. And you can, by the way, you can get fasting cortisol levels. You can look at all these numbers. Amy and I have done all that kind of stuff. Amy, what's the cortisol you get in the morning, right?
You do, but to really get a good look at cortisol, you need like a 24-hour saliva test.
Saliva, yeah, okay. You can get all these numbers, but in my life personally, and I don't know if other people feel this way, I feel like stress has been in some ways a positive because it's forced me to be better. It's forced me to clearly think about certain things that are going on. I do find that there's only so much of the candle that you can burn with stress. So like I'm really good with professional stress, but when I get to like the grocery store and I can't find what I want, everything just falls apart. And I was like, how can this guy reconstruct someone's face? And I can't, just because I can't find the baked beans.
It's the hierarchy of needs.
It is. It's Maslow's triangle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's so true because it's just about managing it intentionally, so you manage the things that are important. And the more stress a person has, I tend to agree. Like they always say, like, if you want something done, like ask the busiest person because that is the person that knows how to handle it. So I think you're correct in seeing, and this is true too, of people who have a lot of stress. If you're not seeing it as this horrible negative thing and you're just being like, look, I can deal with this. Like, let's manage this. Let's intentionally manage this. Let's acknowledge this and deal with it.
Yeah.
Then you're good. And you're going to age slower. You're going to look younger.
Intentionally managing it, which is what you and I talk about all the time, comes from building habits that are positive. And habits that are positive, can be as simple as making your bed every morning when you wake up, having a to-do checklist that's not excessive. Maybe it's 4 things or 5 things. Consistent exercise, consistent sleep hygiene, trying very hard to be consistent with your loved ones and expressing love and expressing emotional feelings and things like that. I mean, all these things bring down the stress level. Even when I'm stressed, Amy gets the brunt of it because we're too close. But when I get through my part, we'll kind of break bread together. And I feel good to commiserate with someone who understands how I'm feeling. Mm-hmm. That part of it too, having that kind of outlet. So there's so many different levels of this. But I am not so sure that stress is I think stress is somewhat necessary in life. I really do.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at that as a person who has a stressful job.
I think one thing that I've learned a lot is there's stress that you can control and stress that you can't. I think one of the worst things that's happening right now is doom scrolling and things like that, because you're stressing yourself out with things that you can't control.
Yeah.
And that's a big difference. Like, we have so much in our life, so removing stress from your life that you have no control over, I think is really important, because
Smart.
there is
watch
good
TV.
stress. Yeah. I mean, news, all that stuff. Because for me, it's very stressful couple days before a big shoot or a show or anything else, but I thrive on it. I'm like, I got to be ready. I got to be, it's like a game.
Because you're managing it intentionally.
Exactly. And then when you come through the other side, that stress is, it's like, it's rewarding. It's great.
Yeah.
Like, it's a good thing, but there's a lot that we can't control, and people are submerged in that.
I think the creative stress, which is what you and I are probably referring to, is necessary for creative people to get off their butts and do what they need to do. And be successful at it. I think the stress of monotony, stress of suppression, stress of things you can't control can be hard. And you're absolutely right. There was a study that came out about sleep, and they were talking about, we've all heard you shouldn't use blue lights after 7. You should not be on your phone in bed. And a big part of that is the effect of blue light on the pineal gland and release of
growth hormone.
Yeah, and all the other hormones that come from there related to sleep. And what they found is, in this, I think it was a study out of Australia, maybe we'll find it and link it. What they found was to say, blue light definitely affects your hormones, affects the pineal gland, and can affect your sleep. But what is greater, though, and I may butcher this, is the actually scrolling creates a sense of urgency and stress itself.
Yeah, the actual movement.
And like action. And so you get habitualized to this feeling of baseline anxiety and stress every night before you go to bed, which literally affects your circadian rhythm.
Right. And you comfort it by scrolling more.
And so then you'll wake up and you'll still be in that stress state or that anxiety state or whatever they used. And so it's more the action than the actual hormone changes. But like, it's just what you're saying. I mean, your body gets habitualized to this feeling of baseline anxiety. And they, even when they did the test, there wasn't consequential. It wasn't making them like look at politics or anything. It was making them just scroll. And it was even the expectation of what's next. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like TikTok.
Totally.
Right. It wasn't anything consequential. It wasn't like, I'm going to show you a terrible article.
It's even better if it's a reward. If you see a picture of a cute dog, like, oh, cool. Like, then what's next? Oh, well, then there's a bomb blowing up. Oh, shoot. Like, let me see if I can get another dog.
So.
Yeah, that's so true. See? That's one way that you can manage stress intentionally, is by intentionally not doing things like that.
We just got to be more intentional.
Yes.
I'm going to keep saying that word.
Okay. So this one we're getting into, like I said, these are all things you can do literally right now. So my next one is to hydrate. There are many reasons why hydration is good. Doom scroller.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, like, literally, we're in the middle of a podcast.
No.
Like, you're going to just start doom scrolling? Because there was no notifications came up before you did that.
I thought it was the hospital.
Okay. So hydration, so water, improves surface and deep skin hydration and flexibility.
And you know this from your doing your shows and stuff. Hydration can really affect your presentation on stage and how your skin looks.
Yeah, well, because it's also hydrating your muscles.
Yeah.
Then there's a saying in bodybuilding, you can't dehydrate fat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So people are like, I needed to come in drier. Like, no, you need to come in leaner.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, you were not, you can't dry fat. Skin is our largest organ and it needs water to function optimally. I mean, this is a large part of how we detox is through our skin, and we need water to facilitate that. Also, proper hydration improves mental sharpness and mood. Dr. Martin, how many times when you're like, I feel a little foggy, I'm like, have you had any water today?
No, I know. I told you I was struggling with that a little bit, and the hydration, which was suggested by one of our coaches, really turned things around. I mean, there could have been other things going on. It's really hard to know sometimes, but Amy and I live fairly controlled lives. We really try to optimize. And all I did was focus on hydration, which I was terrible at before that. And I think I was just chronically dehydrated. When you're dehydrated, I mean, it can affect people differently. Some people can feel sluggish. Some people can feel really hungry. When I'm really dehydrated, I'm starving, which is so interesting. Like, you would think you would be thirsty.
No, but there's water in, I mean, our body, we know that too.
Your body's, you know what I'm saying? Which is so
moisture.
Funny. And I don't always have that thirst drive. I have like a hunger drive. And so when I get really hungry, and I've kind of eaten like my normal, I know that I'm probably really dehydrated, which is pretty funny. You can get lightheaded, definitely affects your mood, and definitely affects your mental sharpness for sure.
Yeah. And your skin and your aging.
Yeah.
Like being chronically dehydrated is bad for your skin. It's aging you more rapidly.
Right.
So just being nice and plump. And like you said, I do know what it's like to water deplete for shows, and you don't look super plump and juicy when you're all water dehydrated.
What about hydration with element, like with the electrolytes?
Electrolytes are very important as well. The proper breakdown of electrolytes is really key. So you want the right balance of potassium, magnesium, and sodium, which Element has. And there's so many now. So many. We love Element, but yeah, there's a lot. Nils has his Element water bottle right now. Yeah.
Way to go, Nils.
So Hydrate, exclamation point. Again, like I said, these are all things you can start doing right now. All right. Probably you're not surprised to see the next one. So I did a study. One of the research we're into was, remember that study with the women in Japan?
Yep.
Talking about skin health and like the direct correlation between weightlifting and skin health versus cardio and skin health, but there was still a benefit. So move more than you sit. Muscle is youth's armor. Mobility is how you wear it without creaking. I love that.
Yeah, that is good.
Made me think of the Tin Man, because it's really true. Like there's a lot that goes into like guessing someone's age, right? If you look at somebody and they are walking, quote unquote, like an old person, you're going to assume that they're older than they maybe are.
Yep.
Or they're walking really stiff. You know, like again, it's those things that we associate with age. So it's not just about mobility, it's how you wear it without creaking.
And this is their body composition too. Like we'll get people in their 60s that come in. I mean, I'm relating to men. So men that would come in, and ones that have broad shoulders, they have fullness in their chest, they have definition on their arms, like their biceps and triceps. We don't usually see their legs, but if you do, they have some muscle definition down there, maybe in the calf and stuff. I mean, automatically, I think those guys are in their 50s for sure. You know, and so that would just keep working retroactively. If you're in your 50s, you want to look like you're in your 40s, having some muscle composition is really good. And the only way you can get that was with exercise.
Yep.
The improves skin structure and appearance, possibly through promoting mitochondrial biosynthesis. For sure, this happens. This happens with cardiovascular exercise and also strength training. And you can actually, this is something they can actually look at. They can actually study this, which is really cool. Right. And your mitochondria, excuse me, are the energy source in our bodies, and those are where vibrancy comes from. It's where the energy comes from. Yeah. And if you don't, like, you can tell the difference if you're around someone who has a lot of energy and someone who doesn't have any energy. You can tell right away, even in their body language, their stance, everything they do. So, well, and the hormone secretion component of this is actually really important too, because it's through exercise that both men and women have an increase in not only growth hormone release, but also in testosterone. Yeah. So like it actually, benefits your skin through those things as well. Estrogen really helps your skin look good too. So you want to have a good balance of hormones, and exercise is really a stimulant to those things as well. Yeah. It also increases blood flow and hydration and temperature of the skin, which helps. What does that do? It draws nutrients. It brings nutrients right to the cells, so that exercise flush or even just sweating. We talked about hydration, like, and how you kind of detox through your skin. Same thing with exercise. Like you're getting toxins out, like you're cleaning out, some of that lymphatic fluid that way. Yeah. So it's a really powerful thing. And just, it's more about regular exercise. I have a slide at the end where I talk about like the extreme sides of things, but move more than you sit is really key. I mean, you look at people in like the Northern European countries, like where they cycle a lot, keeping it active. Like you see men and women riding their bike to the grocery store at 80. Right. Like, I want to be that 80-year-old. There's an article recently that said that it doesn't even have to be 10,000 steps a day. It can be 6,000. That's easy right there. You got that. Everyone can do 6,000 steps a day if you don't have a disability. And then, what's it called? Non-exercise. NEAT. Non-exercise. Activity thermogenesis. NEAT is everything. And it's so many different things that we do. And then if you could be consistent with going to the gym. The thing I struggle with, and Amy's better than me, is I feel like you need to get like 2 hours. It's all dependent on the person. You need to go to a trainer or your physician and work with them. But I think you need to get about 2 hours of cardio in. It doesn't have to be per week. Per week, yeah. And that's just for heart health. And I never make that. Well, because I have no time. But you are probably looking at cardio differently. I mean, cardio can be walking. Yeah, I'm talking about Colorado cardio. Yeah, you don't need to be doing like 30 minutes of sprinting on the bike, like even just 30 minutes of walking. Yeah. Like it's more about, like I said, it's more about moving more than you sit. Yeah. Well, that's like 100%. Just maintaining activity. And you have a very active job, so for you,
Like you probably get 10,000 steps most days just through normal activity.
All the time.
And you have dogs and
Yeah.
you have other things that are getting you outside and moving.
If on a normal weekend day, if I work out and I don't have like a lot planned where I have to sit down, I'll walk between 15 and 20,000 steps.
Yeah. So you're getting that in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
anyways, and then lengthening the telomeres, I like that too. I want to lengthen my telomeres.
Yeah. So this was actually interesting. They extrapolated this from a study on men who had prostate cancer but were choosing observation versus treatment. So they were choosing observation, and they followed these men for 5 years. And it didn't give anything. I didn't read the entire breakdown of what their cancer outcomes were because that was not talked about. They were looking specifically at lifestyle interventions and the ones who did the diet and exercise interventions versus the ones who didn't, and what their death rate was at the end, or what their rate of progression of illness was in 5 years. It was really fascinating. But one of the things they saw that in the men who did all these dietary interventions for the full 5 years and lifestyle interventions like sleep, they did some other counseling and those kinds of things, had longer telomeres.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And telomeres are basically, if you think about, your cells can only divide so many times in your lifetime. And once you're out of telomeres, they can basically predict when you're going to die. So the longer your telomeres are.
Remember when we talked about this?
Yeah. You guys
It was like so morbid, and Amy was like, Amy was like talking about it like, yeah, you got one more time and then you're going to die. And I was like, there's like, and then it made me feel better because this is the counting sheep thing when Amy told us we have like 100 trillion cells or something insane in our body. So I was like, oh, thank God. So not every one of them is dying all at the same time.
No, some of them are dying all the time.
Yes.
There's always some dying. Apoptosis is happening constantly.
I can't hear telomeres without thinking at the end of shoelaces.
That's what they look like, little caps on the end of shoelaces. So yeah, exercise does that too. So all of these things are going to make you appear younger. Yeah. All right, we're going to take a quick break and come back for it's like golf. Coming back for the back nine, but there's 5.
I like it.
And we're back. Dr. Martin.
Oh, shit.
There's that song from was it the 90s?
Can I skip? Nils, do you want to sit in my seat for this one?
So we are talking specifically about how you can look younger without having surgery, without having any type of injections.
Sunscreen is like probably the easiest answer of all of them.
And again, there's actual scientific studies that have looked at populations. They did it in Australia where there is a lot of sun. People who did and did not wear sunscreen, literally, they said it retarded aging in the population who used sunscreen, meaning it actually, in over 4.5 years, they showed no acceleration of aging, whereas the people who were not wearing sunscreen did on a cellular level.
Anecdotally speaking, I've done my own study of my life. My wife, who looks like Allison Brie from Community.
She's beautiful.
Who, it's so funny. I was watching Community. I'm like, God, Allison Brie is so pretty. I just kept thinking so pretty. I'm like, oh, because it reminds me of the wife who I love. So, but this woman, I mean, some of it's genetic, and she looks amazing. And then I'm around her and I look like Godzilla in these pictures. Like Godzilla is standing next to Allison Brie. And a lot of that is the sun damage for sure.
And we see this in our practice. We have patients who there was one this week who we met in person for the first time, and I looked at their paperwork after they left. I'm like, oh my goodness, this person is only 62. Like I would have guessed she was in her 70s. Mm-hmm. And we see a lot of people. We're pretty good at nailing age.
Yeah.
So for me to be off by like a decade is a lot. And it just shows that it was the quality of their skin.
Yeah. And a big part of that is genetic.
A part of it is genetic.
No, yeah, a big part. Like, you're dealt the cards that you have, but cumulative effect of UVA and B rays is disastrous on your skin. And especially if you're female and that's important to you. Men can get away with a little bit more in our culture right now.
Well, and you have thicker skin to begin with.
Yeah. And, if I have wrinkles around my eyes, people are, oh, it's not bad. You look good. You look, mature. But it's crazy. Sunscreen and Retin-A are probably the two easiest things anyone listening right now could do that would drastically change their aging profile in terms of how they appear.
Yeah, well, that actually have data behind them. Yeah. Really the key with sunscreen is to start early and don't stop, and to be safe with your sun exposure in general.
Would you say don't stop, get it?
Maybe. I feel like there could be a better song about sunscreen, but maybe. Yeah. You can do it. Put your SPF into it.
Yeah, put your SPF into it. You can do it.
Yep.
Put that SPF 40 into it.
Yep.
By the way, I've also read that SPF 100 is worthless.
It is. Anything over 30 is really not, because all it does is extend the amount of time before you would be potentially burned, but not the duration of time. So like for someone who has really fair skin, wearing an SPF 100 at 20 minutes, they're going to, or 2 hours, they still need to reapply.
Right. And that's the other thing about sunscreen, reapply every 2 hours. Mm-hmm. Reapply every time you go into the water.
Yep.
Yeah.
So don't stop is really just don't stop SPFing. Don't stop sunscreening.
Okay, sunscreen. That's good.
Yeah, but you're right. Sunscreen and Retin-A. I mean, and people ask me all the time, they've just had a facelift. They're like, Amy, I really want to make sure I maintain these results. What is the best sun care I can use? I'm like, or face care. And they're expecting me to, want to sell them like thousands of dollars worth of product.
Yeah, like some Korean bovine uterine stem cells cream.
Oh yeah. And they're out there. But what I say to them is two things. The best skincare is the skincare you like and you will use, because being consistent with all of these things is so key. If you hate the way your sunscreen smells and you don't use it because you don't like the way it smells, or you don't like the way your moisturizer feels, or it gums up, or your facial cleanser doesn't foam the way you like it, then you're not going to use it. So I would rather have someone use straight up Neutrogena from the drugstore every single day and reapply sunscreen every time they go outside than pay $500 for the quote unquote best stem cell cream and never use it.
Right. You got me sold. I'm going to do sunscreen.
Yeah.
Next one.
You're going to do sunscreen?
Yeah. Let's start.
Finally, he's gonna.
Shut up, Nils. Keep going.
What's that sunscreen smell like?
It's like citrusy.
Like oranges. Yeah. All right. Next one. This is my wheelhouse right here.
Oh, God.
A nutrient-dense diet. Now,
I'm going to come back in 30 minutes after you're done with this slide.
No, it actually doesn't take long. So what does this mean? This really, when you look at it, you have to think the cumulative effect of thousands of meals over decades shows up in how you age, not one meal. And that's where these, studies of like blue zones and other things, like they look at people over their lifespan, not over like 12 weeks of a specific diet. It's what they ate over decades that really mattered in the end. So foods that are high in antioxidants, obviously, are going to be really helpful because our bodies are constantly kind of fighting off all these radical oxygen species, and our cells are needing energy. Like Dr. Warren talked about the mitochondria. Yep. Where are they getting that from? They're getting that from what you put in your mouth. They're not making it themselves.
Right.
They need you to feed them. So what you put in is what you get out. And like that is where just the quality of your diet is so important. And it's important over your lifespan, not over a specific span.
I'm a big believer in this. Besides gasoline, I don't buy 93 octane gas. I'm a cheapie. I buy the crappy gas with a nice car. And it's the same analogy here. It probably does make a difference. But for food, I think this is, I personally, of all things.
You're not putting premium gas in your car?
Nope.
Does it require it?
Of course it does.
It might not. Like, does it say that on the?
I think it does.
Is it turbo?
No.
Usually the high octane is just for the turbo engines. You can have a really nice 8-cylinder.
I think it's supercharged. It's weird. It's like electrical kind of thing. It's not like a true turbo.
If you were putting not premium gas in your vehicle that needed it, it wouldn't still be running.
Yeah.
You've had that for 4 years? It wouldn't run anymore.
Yeah.
It would be knocking so loud, like it would not run.
You're right. Which means you don't need it. If you don't need it, you don't need it. Yeah. Because you'll know right away. Yeah. We're all a little concerned.
Thank you, Nils.
About you wearing sunscreen and putting like.
Instead of going to the Land Rover dealership, I'm going to go to your house. But high in antioxidants, high in healthy fats. I mean, that's the key.
And diverse. And that's really more the key.
Focus on protein, lean meats. If you're not, if you don't want animal protein, you can do vegetable protein. I mean, there's so many ways to do this. I totally agree.
Yeah.
I fill in with whey protein because of my time constraints. I wish I didn't have to.
I do.
Yeah, I wish I didn't have to. But other than that, Amy has converted me. I eat a whole food diet. I bring my own food. I don't even get stuff from the cafeteria anymore at the hospitals. I eat salads every day. I eat rice. I eat lean meats. So,
yeah. And really, it's about, like I said, you want a lot of diversity in your diet. And that's the other thing, if I could say, is like a varied diet is the healthiest diet. Like people want to isolate nutrients, and that's not it. Like you're far better eating 3 different types of fruit every week than eating like again, the like newest, bougiest, superfood. Like it just get diversity, eat local when you can.
I still put chia seeds sometimes in my smoothie, and I always laugh at myself because that is kind of like those bougie superfoods.
But there's nothing wrong with them. Chia seeds are great.
No, I know they're great. But every time I do it, I'm like, oh, I'm buying into the hype a little bit.
No, they're high in omegas. Like chia seeds are a great source of fat. Yeah.
Amy, when you say it's kind of like with the skincare, it's got to be something sustainable. Like otherwise you get into that diet trend where you're eating stuff you don't want to eat, and then you're going to fall off of it. So if you find stuff that's your recommendations like that, but it's stuff that you like to eat, you can get into that. I did that in my 40s where it's like, well, I like this stuff. I could just start eating this better food that I like instead of trying to think like, oh, I need to eat this disgusting stuff.
If I like this food, just eat it.
Yeah, because you put something in your mouth you don't like, you're like, I'm not going to do this the rest of my life.
Yeah.
So it's a big part of it. Make it a lifestyle change, not a diet.
Yeah,
right?
We're not on Arnold Schwarzenegger.
So I'm not Amy. So people will ask me, and I'm always like, well, you should just talk with Amy. But the simple tips I give them is exactly what you said, is try to find a whole foods diet and find the whole foods you like to eat. And I always use the example, like I love carrots. So I love carrots. I eat them when I feel like eating something and they taste good and I like the consistency of them. Even my coach was like, I really don't want you to eat a lot of carrots, but like I still eat them because I like them. They're high in fiber. And
I eat carrots every day.
Yeah, I know. But like
they're on my plan though. So
yeah, they're not really on my plan. But for me, I found that, and that's consistent. It feels good. I like it, etc. So Amy also taught me something I think is really important. Is the consistency of the whole food diet is great, but then also to give yourself the freedom to have fun and to be at family meals if you want to have a piece of cake or ice cream or something, because that's what food's all about.
Yes.
And so the idea that it's about a long-term play, not short-term, you're not trading Bitcoin here, You're like, you're doing your 401k your whole life for retirement, and that's what this is about. So that was a really good advice Amy gave me one time. It makes me really happy. So you don't have to feel guilty if you want to have something fun.
No, you should not feel guilty. That's not good for aging. People who are ridden with guilt and remorse don't age well.
Stress again.
Exactly. That is stressful. You don't need that. All right, next one. They have a positive but realistic outlook. And I think this is so key. So maintaining a positive mindset is linked to looking younger because it affects how we experience stress, how we take care of ourselves, and even how our facial muscles settle over time. Chronic negativity, resentment, and anger create a particular expression that over years literally shapes your face. It's called the RBF. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Those who practice gratitude and maintain perspective tend to have softer, more
So if you have
expressions.
RBF, if you just look in the mirror and say, come on, smile, just smile back at yourself, will that work?
Nope.
Okay.
Find joy, and they find joy in the everyday. So this is such an interesting thing because we see people, and you see your expressions do show up in your face. And so people who appear younger tend to have, like when they ask people why they think someone is an age than a different person, even if they're the same age, a lot of it has to do with where their facial muscles are kind of settling, as it says, so do you settle in RBF or do you settle in more of kind of a neutral, like open expression?
That's funny.
Yeah. Like this, again, they've actually studied this. But it's about having a realistic outlook too. Like these are not people who the people who live in the clouds and just think like nothing is bad. That's not what it's saying. Like these are people who are, expressive and they find joy in things, even if stuff is tough.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, really key.
Oh, that's my love language. I love patients like that. The ones that are going through some things, but they're keeping a realistic outlook. They're honest with themselves about the reality they're in, but they try to find those little glimmers of hope and happiness and joy. Like that defines our human existence and our human experience. And it's just really impactful to me personally as a human being and inspiring, especially when people are struggling. And we also treat people that are struggling, not just cosmetically speaking, but reconstructively, and seeing people in hard times and seeing their resilience and trying to work through it. Yeah, I totally agree with this. Yeah.
And you see it too. I mean, especially I think in some family dynamics, someone who carries negativity or resentful or, is angry, it does show in how they age. They literally look older.
Yeah.
That shows up. So learning how to, again, find joy, like Dr. Martin said, you treat patients who, are going through cancer treatments.
Yeah.
But how you look at that has a lot to do with how your outcomes. It's like the studies on prayer, which are so interesting because you're studying something that is in a person's mind, but they have better outcomes.
So what I tell people they're really struggling, because all of us would struggle with a diagnosis, a difficult diagnosis, is I tell them that first and foremost, just love yourself and honor yourself. If you're feeling bad, it's okay to feel bad. That's the realistic part, is not try to portray yourself as some warrior that's going to go through and slay everything. If you want to portray yourself that way, I'll be right there with you. But if you want to have a day of crying and have a day of sadness and difficulty, that's okay too, right? That's the realistic part. But then you always have to correct to hope, a vision, a North Star, something you're shooting for. And a lot of that conversation I had on the reconstructive side, we've brought over to the cosmetic side. If you hear what I talk to cosmetic patients, it's basically the same words. It's about, love yourself, have a positive body image. What path do you want to be on? How to empower yourself so you can feel better personally. And it's the same thing. This is a really interesting slide. So
yeah, and I said this in our last episode, at the very end of our last episode, but this is true in this too, is that everybody says that you only live once, but you actually only die once, and you live every day.
Right.
So just like reframing how you look at things, even if they're bad. We've all been there. Like, I feel like every one of us has been like that, crying on the bathroom floor, kind of like had something happen to them. But it's how you find whatever that is to know that you're going to wake up the next day.
Yeah.
And if that's all you've got, like, go with that. And you'll eventually start tacking stuff on, like little Legos of positivity.
Yeah.
Or of hope. Yeah, like you said, hope. All right. So this one is actually really interesting too. So people who tend to look younger are mentally engaged. They keep learning and laughing throughout life. Learning new skills keeps our brain young, but that youthful mental energy shows on your face and in your demeanor. And this is so true. We have a lovely patient who is not that old, unfortunately, but is very ill. And her body is turned against her in every possible way, but she still has this spark of joy in her. You see it when she talks to you, and she wants to connect. She's curious. She has this silliness and laughter, and she's in pain, like legit pain all the time. And so you just like, it's that like kind of ability to see through it. But our brain, when you look at like brain aging, like our brain loves novelty. So it likes, and I put this in there, it likes breadcrumbs. So the more you can kind of give your brain things to breadcrumb, or to seek, it actually does help with aging of the brain, and then also how you appear. Reading, asking questions, being curious. Those are things that go away from us. And that silliness and laughter, everything, it lifts everything. It lifts our mood, it lifts our shoulders, it lifts our cheeks. Like when you're laughing, you're looking all over better.
Yeah.
Like it makes your cheeks flush, like it makes you look better.
I don't know. I tend to laugh like a horse. I don't know if I look better.
You do, but you do. Yeah.
Like that, like.
But youth isn't only in the face, it's in the mind.
Right.
But
I think it's true. Even if I'm laughing like a horse, people are like, oh, he's having fun.
Yes.
He's enjoying himself.
Yeah. And your body loosens and like things shift. Like,
I think humor, that's my go-to for everything with patients is humor. I think it's the great equalizer in life. I think it's the best way to remove stress, anxiety, fear. And if you can do it in a way that also shows empathy and compassion, it is the best. So, yeah. And, I mean, laughing itself is curative. It has to be. And Nils knows this because Nils and Sarah go to every comedy show around.
Yep, they like comedy.
I consider myself a laughing expert.
Yes.
And that literally shows up in how you age. I mean, I would say, absolutely, you and Sarah are people who definitely look younger than your stated age.
Oh, thank you.
And you do these things. Like, you guys are really good at all these things.
And if you watch this podcast, you just hear me laughing in the background pretty much the whole time.
Pretty much the whole
we
time.
make Nils laugh, yeah. But I think like with our brain and just with aging in general, it is easy to not continue to seek that, like you get stagnant in your own thoughts.
Yeah.
And that for me is like, I used to read a lot more than I read now. And part of it is social media, part of it is phones. Living in Aspen when I was like, I didn't have cable, I had nothing else. I read all the time. Like I would like devour medical journals. I'm like, why don't I do that anymore? I'm like, well, because I don't have to. I read the articles online really fast and then I kind of move on. And like, it's just the like kind of hacking those things and like giving your brain something else.
Yeah.
Like it's going to keep you younger. It's going to make you look younger. Yeah. Do you have anything else on this one?
No. I was just thinking that I do strands and connections on New York Times.
Yeah.
Just to keep my brain going.
Yeah.
And then a lot of times, like, it's always different levels. Some are really hard, some are like easier. And the easier ones, I'm like, oh, I'm so damn smart. And then the hard ones, you're like, oh my God, I think I have Alzheimer's. What is going on with my brain?
Yeah. That's my grandparents. They both lived, well, my grandfather would have lived farther into his 90s if he hadn't had the catastrophic stroke, but they both did crossword puzzles every day and like all the little games. Like it was just part of who they were. And they both stayed extremely mentally sharp.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it really does make a difference.
We watch Jeopardy every day, and I started doing that with my grandma when I was a kid, and I just love it. And the same thing. It's like, oh man, how did I not remember that? I think my brain's dying. And then other times I'll like rip in a game, and I'm like, I should sign up for Jeopardy.
It's kind of random. If it hits your knowledge base, it's pretty easy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if you're properly hydrated and mentally sharp. All right. So the last one. This is really what brings it all together. So moderation and balance in all things. Moderation is the default for people who look young. They are moderate with exercise versus extreme exercise. They're consistent with their diet versus doing a strict fad diet or under-eating or overeating for large amounts of time. Eat dessert sometimes. Stay up late when it's worth it, not because you're doom scrolling. Enjoy outdoor activities wisely, sun safely. Drink responsibly.
That's a big one. We didn't really talk about that too much.
Well, because alcohol ages you no matter what. It's not one of the things that keeps you looking younger.
Oh, that's true. I mean, well, if you reduce alcohol consumption, it's going to be beneficial to the way you look.
Moderation. Yeah. Balance practiced consistently is what keeps people looking and feeling young. Mm-hmm. You know, and this is so key. You know, you look at people who do like extreme dieting or extreme exercising or people who run too much, like they don't look good. Like moderation in all things is really what's going to keep you looking and aging, like scientifically aging better.
Yep.
Yeah. I have two great quotes to finish it out. Looking young in your 60s and beyond isn't magic. It's the result of hundreds of tiny decisions made over the course of decades.
Or a facelift.
Well, that sets back the clock really fast. Yeah. Looking young in your 60s is definitely a facelift. But this one was no knives or needles required.
Right.
Which is a Neve, apparently.
Excellent episode, Amy. Every time you do these episodes, you always surprise us. Very good. Very good. Yeah, very good.
Well, I like setting the year off. I don't want people who maybe can't afford surgery or who don't want surgery. You know, there are absolutely things that you can start doing today to age the best way you can.
Right. So what I got from this is I have to move to Southern California, become a 7-day Adventist, laugh more, right? Mm-hmm. And actually start wearing sunscreen.
Yes. Actually wear sunscreen.
I'm going to tell Barb about it. That's what we got to do. This might be our last episode after we move.
After we move.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, you can't podcast if you're a 7-day Adventist?
I don't think so. Oh. They're pretty rigorous, but we'll see.
It's the Daniel diet is what the 7-day Adventists do. There's a book, the Daniel diet.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're strict vegetarians.
Very, very strict vegetarians. And they're so interesting. I've read about that one time, and they're very much into physical exercise.
Oh, yeah, well, activity. They don't, and again, move more than you sit.
Move more than you sit.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
Good job.
Well, Dr. Martin, that is the end of this episode. If anyone would like to leave your thoughts about aging, what you do to stay young on the inside and the outside, leave those in the comments below. You can also find us on all social media here. We are at Jason Martin MD and at Beauty and the Surgeon Podcast. You can also leave me a voicemail or send me a text at 303-630-9038. All of those are linked in the description box below. Next episode's coming in February. We're going to have some questions from listeners. Did I say it right? Yes, I did. We'll see you for that next time.
See you next time.